自己紹介お願いします。
はい、こんにちは。つむみさん、フェデリコ
はい。
です。リコって呼んでください。35歳です。アメリカ人、ボストン出身です。ボストンシーフード超美味しい。つむみさんはシーフード好きですか？
大好きです。
いいですね。
ロブス
あ、
ターですか？
ロブスター。いつか一緒に行きましょう。
ぜひ、お願いします。は
あと、ボクシング好きです。いつも見てます。つむみさんはどんなスポーツ好きですか？
い。私はバスケットボールが大好きです。
あと、よく好きです。今までマレーシアとシンガポールとフィリピンに行きました。今、ベトナムにいます。トゥルメさんはどこにいますか？
私は、今、ギリシャにいます。
マレーシア行ったことあります。行ったことあり
すごい。
ます。あと、10年前、日本に住んでいました。アメリカ空軍で
うん。
働いていました。横田基地に2年住んでいました。また、日本に住みたいです。よろしくお願いします。
Good
はい。
job. Amazing.
あ
Even
り
though
が
you're
とう、あり
not
がとう。
living in Japan right now, you actually
うん。
really constantly focusing this speaking, listening in Japanese. Good job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. ありがとう。It's not the easiest
Amazing.
when you don't live there, and I
Yeah,
understand too.
definitely.
It can be hard when you're not hearing the language
うん、
every day, but it's all
うん、
about how much work you put into it. And it's like even though I can be like out and about all the time
う
here,
ん、
wherever I'm at, the goal is always to get to Japan so I can
う
fully take
ん、
my
う
language learning
ん。
to the next level. Yeah.
Amazing. This is encouraging to other people, maybe either never been to Japan yet, or even not, they lived in Japan before like you, but they're not
Oh,
living in Japan right now, but it's still like they can actually keep learning Japanese. So is
yeah.
this your
Mhm.
progress is really encouraging others.
Arigato, gozaimashita. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
So hey, let me know about yourself. So what do you do right now and where you living and what's your name? Just a little bit basic information.
Of course, of course. So, just a little background. So, my name is Federico. I'm 35,
Mm.
and I was initially in Japan when I was in the Air Force.
Mm.
This was first came to Japan at Yokota Air Base back in
Mm.
2013, and I
Mm.
was there in Japan for 2 years, and it was a great experience. But my whole 2 years there, I wasn't able to speak like much Japanese at all. Like I made some Japanese friends. I had a Japanese partner, but like it was mostly with Japanese that people that knew English already. And I remember thinking to myself when I was there, I was like, this is I'm not getting the full experience of this country because
Mm.
I can't communicate with 90% of the population here. Like if I were to go
Mm.
outside of Tokyo. So it was always in the back of my mind, like I do want to come back here one day, but before I come back, I want to at least like learn more Japanese. So
Mm.
it's 10 years later, it's just been a goal of mine to kind of practice as much as I could. And I've tried self-study, I tried, apps and buying all different types of programs, but joining, Japanese Language Factory has been like the best so far. This is the most Japanese I've ever spoken in my life. So I thank you guys. You Terumi-san, of course,
Amazing.
Shusuke-san. Yeah, yeah, just like teaching me because I never would have had the confidence to speak Japanese like this
Mm.
unless I joined, your company. So it's been
Mm-hmm,
great.
mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm uh I'm kind of bouncing around right now. I'm actually between jobs right now, but like I'm just I was in the military and I kind of had my jobs after I left the military, and I was just like, I kind of want to go on like a spiritual journey by myself and just like kind of go through Asia a little bit. And I was like, I'm gonna go back to Japan probably within the next few months. So I'm pretty excited about that. But as of now, I'm just kind of hanging out in Vietnam, which I love. I love Vietnam. So I was like, I don't mind staying here another month or so. Yeah,
Amazing. So
of
tell me
course.
about this experience because either people actually, think, oh, I'm in the military now, it's Yokota Air Base. If I start living there, I'm gonna be fluent. They actually kind of think like that. Or either two,
Yeah.
oh, because I'm here in Japan, I don't need to like just to focus on too much study, just here and there. I'm going to figure it out. So
Yeah.
that's very common idea, I guess.
Yeah.
So what's the
Right.
actually that kind of reality versus, what actually you see the differences between here and there, like language apps or something, or either you
Mhm.
go there, you're gonna learn somehow, or what do you think?
Well, honestly, like I remember when I was in Yokota, like mind you, this was in my low 20s, and there was an instance where I was at work, right? And mind you, it was all Americans, and they asked, like, I remember there was probably like 50 of us in the room. Many people had been living in Japan for who knows how many years. And they asked, does anybody here know how to speak Japanese? We need like somebody here that knows how to speak Japanese. And only one person was like, oh, I'm kind of learning. So like it was kind of that mindset. I remember thinking, I was like, it's kind of that mindset where people come to, a place like Japan and they not enough people make the effort to really like learn the language. Of course, it's important if you're only going to be there a short amount of time to
Mm,
just learn the basics. But if
mm,
you're going to live there in order to get the full experience and meet locals and be able to immerse in the culture, especially a place like Japan, you should do whatever you can to learn the language. And in
mm,
my opinion, now the best way to do it, and you guys have actually taught me this, is speaking. Now, when I first started learning Japanese years ago, I was just like, oh, let me try to memorize hiragana and try to put that together and try to, think of as many kanji as I can and try to figure out what they mean and stuff. And that wasn't getting me anywhere. This is
mm,
the most confident that I've ever felt by speaking, talking to native Japanese speakers that can help me and actually not being afraid to speak to native Japanese speakers and just try,
mm,
especially when we do the weekly meetings, just going into those that like boosts your confidence. So honestly, like if you really want to get the full experience, you should definitely speak Japanese every day. Speak it, with the native speakers, once you go
mm,
to Japan or even before you go to Japan. And definitely try to get at least a pen pal or somebody that you can talk to so that you don't lose it. There were times
mm,
during, even this course where I would just kind of go days without like looking at my Japanese material. And I was just like, I would go
mm,
back to it and I was like, gosh, I kind of forgot this. I wouldn't feel
mm,
comfortable, like talking to somebody in Japanese right now, but it's all about how much you put into it,
mm,
because it's like a marathon. Basically, if you want to
mm,
train for an Ironman marathon, like, oh,
mm,
you want to be like a great swimmer, great bike rider, great runner. You just have to dedicate yourself to it and just speak every day. Like you said, like 10
mm,
minutes a day. That's all it takes. Just practice your material. And then from there, there's so many other things that can help you, like the internet, chat GPT, all the
mm,
other like resources that you have. You can
mm,
go to Japan and easily just go into a restaurant and just say, "Hey, I'm one person. I want to, sit down. I want to order this." So honestly, yeah, this program has been great. Yeah, yeah.
mm.
So yeah.
That's right. I
Hmm.
mean, you said, the speaking portion is one of the most important things. And because,
Right.
you really can't be communicative person when you have all the
Uh,
time mobile, like Google Translate, oh, just a moment, don't talk to me. And then
yeah.
you just scan the Google Translate. Oh, you talk fast and okay, let me just figure out with the mobile. But
Yeah.
the
Mm.
documentation now Japanese, you can actually scan the document with ChatGPT. It's way easier, but you cannot really translate and communicate at the same time with the Google
Right.
Translate. That's something you have to make effort. That's for sure. That's a very interesting part of separating. You want to actually improve more reading writing skills and speaking
Right.
listening skills, which is what we do, actually kind of focus on speaking listening, because you cannot have everything at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That'd be like
Mm,
too much overload. And a lot of
mm,
people don't know where to start too. When you're learning a
mm,
language, and especially for Americans, we only know English, most of us. So when you're just like, oh, where should I start first? Should I try to do the kanji and all that stuff first? I think your average person doesn't think, oh no, I should just be worried about listening and speaking first.
mm.
So that's why a
True.
program like this is great. Yeah.
And then while they're searching, they get tired. Should I start this or should I start this and this and this? And it's so many information now. It's AI, language apps, and maybe
Mhm.
Netflix, watching on like
Yeah.
reading newspaper, and like so many options. And they searching and then they get tired. They don't start,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah. They just quit. Yeah, yeah. They're just like, it's too overwhelming. I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it's your experience is really encouraging because, first of all, you don't live in Japan right now, but also you can actually practice speaking. And then also, you have many things to do, but also you make 10 minutes per day. So can you a little bit share with me, like, what is like, your bilingual training lifestyle look like right now? Like from waking up in the morning, how do you implement this training or what do you think?
so how it looks like for me, the best way that I can focus is right after I wake up in the
Mm-hmm.
daytime because I have like one of those, and you can probably kind of hear it when I talk. I got one of those overactive like brains, so I always got to talk. Sometimes I don't shut up. But it's like in the morning, once I wake up, it's like I usually like do my workouts. I like try to go to the gym. And then once I'm relaxing, and I have like a coffee or something like that, or I'm just like drinking tea, like that's when I kind of look over like everything that I had went over with Shunsuke-san, so
Mm,
Sensei basically it's just like, okay, this is what I want to say, and what else could I say? I always kind of like
mm,
think that, and I try to like practice everything we went over. And it's crazy too, because a lot of times I'll like watch a lot of the videos that are sent within the program, and I'm just listening to people's conversations, and I'm just like, oh, I get what they're saying now for the first
mm.
time ever. I was like, because
Wow.
the first time I joined the group session, I left like halfway through because I was like, oh my gosh, it seems like everyone here is fluent, and I don't know anything. But then I was watching like a conversation between two other students, and I was like, oh, I actually know what they're saying now. This is great. This is, so
Amazing.
yeah, it's just
It's
one of
like
those things you gotta.
the
Mm.
moment you like feel like it's click. Oh, this is something like it's a real progress. Like I start understanding something.
Yeah, right. And I was like, because I've always been one of those people like, I'm never gonna learn another language. I don't know what it is. I was like, it does not feel possible. Like I lived in Japan before and I didn't learn it. So how am I gonna learn it now? And then, the months went by in the program and I was just like, oh gosh, okay, this is the first time where I can listen to something. And it's like I know what they're saying. And I may watch like a Japanese movie and like little things, they'll say little things and I'm like, oh, that's what they're saying. And then I like pause it and I kind of look it up to see what, so it's starting to click. So for me, yeah, moving forward, it's just like as long as I keep up with the training, I
Mm,
attend the group sessions and I just fully immerse myself. I was like, I should within like at the end of the year, I should 100% be conversational. It's
mm.
all about the effort that you put in.
Amazing. So when you say that, the all the things, the how much you put in effort, then people think, oh, I
Mm,
don't have time. I don't have like, like 1 hour because I'm busy. And they postpone a lot, even though they live in Japan right now. It's a good
mm,
opportunity. Maybe they're working in the U base, maybe other Navy base or something. But it's
uh.
easily people say, oh, I'm busy. I don't have time to study. So how are you going to actually overcome this no time mode?
Oh, the no time. Yeah, yeah. So, and I remember you had said this in one of your videos, it's just 10 minutes. I was like, everybody, care how busy you are, everybody has 10 minutes to just talk Japanese, whatever you want to say. Like, and the great part about this program too, it's like we go over things that we think we would say. Now, I'm not gonna go try to practice Japanese, like business Japanese, because I was like, I don't necessarily think I'm gonna start a business in Japan.
Mm.
I basically went over with Sean. It's like, what am I going to Japan for? I want to go to Japan to talk to locals. I want to sound
Mm,
natural. And it was one of those things like just small steps, just start small.
mm,
So it's like, just figure out how to say, oh, is there room for one person? Or
mm,
I want to order this. And
mm,
just say that. Just practice saying that. And
mhm,
from there, it's like as long as you know how to say that sentence and you can practice that, you can learn how to say other things from there. It's
Mm.
just like I'm a firm believer, like you should try to learn at least one small thing every day. And that one
That's
small thing
right.
builds into another small thing. And then it all connects as time goes on. And then before you know it, you're just like, okay, I can actually say full sentences now. It's
Mm.
just, yeah.
That's right. Like a lot of people think like 0 or 100. Like, oh, how can I be 100? But what you need is you're not gonna be 0 to 100 suddenly. So you need like one today. That's great. Two, that's great. That's like a kind of you need to be patient, but also you need like step by step, like one sentence per day. You have
No.
365 days, 300 sentences, maybe next year. So you're not gonna be like a native, tomorrow, but it's definitely you can make those small progress and be like positive, about yourself
Mm,
instead of like, oh, I don't understand and being negative. Like you can be positive.
mm,
Oh, I understand the one sentence. I understand two sentences. Like if you become
mm.
positive, I think you can enjoy yourself learning.
Right. Yeah. And I was gonna say, you know that better than anyone, Torumi-san. Like, just learning another language is so terrifying, and especially trying to talk with like the native
Mm,
speakers and stuff. It's like, oh, I don't want to look stupid in front of them. But I feel
mm,
like, and I'm sure you can agree with, all the students that you've had, like, it's actually endearing when you meet, somebody that wants to learn your language and they're trying their best, even if it's they're making mistakes. It's just like, oh, you're actually trying and you want to learn. So I was like, that to me is really cool when someone just doesn't care and they just try. And that's what I've been trying to push myself to do, since joining the program. It's just, yeah. Yeah.
amazing. So at the end, I would like to actually ask the advice to those people who is working. I think it's in the US, maybe in Japan. I think it's more than 1,000, 2,000 people. And then if you
Yeah.
ask, hey, who can speak Japanese? Raise your hand. I think it's very few still.
Very small. Yeah, yeah, very small.
So from that mind,
Uh,
either maybe they feel like, oh, that's too much work and I don't have time. And oh, maybe
well,
like you said it before, like I was, how can I be like so fluent? Like I never be good at, I never good at like learning language, maybe the bad experience
mhm,
in the Spanish class in the high school, something, they have
yeah.
like a kind of
Mhm.
fear to challenge. So what's the advice from you?
Well, I look at it like this. It's like our time, our time on this earth is so short, right? So it's just
Mm,
like you can choose to live in your bubble. Maybe you're American and you want to just stay at Yokota Air Base or maybe go to the bars around there and just speak English and that's all you want to do. Or you can say, hey, you know what? It's a big world out there. There's so many other languages. I love this culture right here. Why not try to learn just a little bit, and just talk to the native speakers and just see like what I can learn from other people from different walks of life. So that was my goal. Like, I wish I kind of would have took that advice when I was there, but it's like never too late. Like I said, time is short, but you can always make it up. Like I said, I want to go back to Japan and hopefully live in Japan. Yeah, we'll see. But it's like one of those things, like I want to go there with a different mindset now. It's like I don't want to just go to places and say, like, no, I want to like actually, do you understand English? It's like, no, no, like I actually want to like go there and speak Japanese to them. I won't even ask.
mm.
Yeah, yeah, I'm at a point when I go there, I don't even want to ask them if they speak English because I want them to teach me some Japanese. Yeah, yeah. So let's go.
Let's go.
Mhm.
I mean, the life is all
Right.
about experience, isn't it?
It is, it is. And that's the
Yeah.
best way. It's just like when you go to a different culture or you meet people from other cultures, just you'd be surprised what you learn from people from other cultures if you just
Mm.
try. Just give a small effort and just go outside of your bubble. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it's at.
That's
It's been
amazing
great.
advice. Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Tori.
well,
Appreciate everything.
Federico-san. Yeah, thank you so much.
Mm,
This is just your
thank
journey
you.
is just started. So I think you will see the next actually new experience when you go back to Japan.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait. So thank you.
Thank you.